New construction is not what it's cracked up to be. I know you want to have a brand new home with no issues and nothing to worry about, no headaches, but I hate to tell you, new construction homes could come with their own issues. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why you should never buy a new construction home. I hate being the guy with bad news. New construction homes also provide their own problems, and a lot of first-time home buyers aren't aware of these. By the way, my name is Tony and I make videos in living in Toronto, the GTA, and of course everywhere around. And if you're thinking about buying a house, check out the link in the comments below. I'd be happy to work with you. And I do these videos for first-time home buyers and general home buyers on what to look for when buying a home. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the high cost of new construction, the lack of quality on these new construction homes, the delays, the depreciation, and the resale challenges. And these might be reason enough for you never to buy a new construction home. If you like the content, feel free to hit that subscribe and bell icon to get notified of all the updates happening here in the GTA. Typically, a new construction home will be more expensive than a resale home. Material costs have gone through the roof over the last few years. Skilled trade wages have gone through the roof over the last couple of years. These homes are now becoming more premium. And a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of add-ons and upgrades to the base cost of a new construction home. Things from upgraded kitchens, tiles, lot premiums. There's a whole bunch of things to look at the price of a home. If it's listed for $1 million, it's probably going to end up costing 1.3, 1.4 million, believe it or not. Recently, I was helping a client purchase a brand new home, and by the time they looked at it, it wasn't cost effective for them, especially after considering the small upgrades that they wanted to do and the lot premium that was involved. The price tag inflated to an unrealistic number. So when you're walking through the model homes, you're looking at all the upgrades that the builder offers. And when you walk through a house, so when you go to look at the package that's offered with the home that you want, it doesn't include all the upgrades the model home had. The flooring, the tubs, the tiles, the lighting, any of that is not included. They're all upgrades. And by the time you add in those upgrades, it becomes a lot more costly. I've seen people spend $200,000-$300,000 just on upgrades alone. So a lot of times you're going to be spending more money than you really initially thought you were going to be doing. And let me tell you, these upgrades and these lot premiums on the resale market aren't worth nearly as much as what you just paid for. So you paid $1.2 million for your house. Your neighbor with exactly the same house, less upgraded, only paid $1 million. When it comes to resell the house, he's going to sell his house for $1.2 million, and you're going to sell your house for exactly what he did, $1.2 million. So you've made absolutely no money on that purchase of that house. And sometimes you're going to lose money. So in reality is these new homes can get really, really expensive. Now let's talk about property taxes when it comes to new construction homes. And this is becoming an issue with people when they buy a new construction home. They're seeing their property taxes go through the roof. And the reason for this is when you purchase a new construction home, there's really no house there for them to assess. After the community gets built and after the city takes over the parks, the recs, the streets, that's when the assessment comes through. And guess what happens? Property taxes go up. A lot of times these builders are giving you an estimated property tax. A lot of times that's nowhere near where it ends up after about 4 or 5 years. So essentially property tax, right now they're giving you an estimate, and then 3-4 years later, the actual property tax kicks in, and it is a sticker shock. And this could be a potential problem for you as a first-time homebuyer, as a homebuyer in general, if you don't account for this. And because of these costs, this could be a reason why you might not consider new home construction. Let's talk about construction quality and the issues around the quality with these new builds. There's a whole bunch of inspectors out there looking at new homes, and they're giving you their honest opinion. These are inspectors that are inspecting brand new homes, and they're finding a whole bunch of issues. I'm not saying that's going to happen with your home or every new build, but it can happen. You may ask yourself, why are these issues happening with these new developments? Why is the quality of these newer homes been lowered? And it's really simple. Over the last few years, ever since the pandemic, there's been a huge demand for new construction homes. So that puts a strain on trades. And because there isn't a huge amount of tradesmen, people were getting into the business because they thought they could make a quick dollar. So the quality of work has come down. Also, these home developers, they're in the business of making money. If prices of materials have gone up, they have to find areas that they can cut pricing, and that usually applies to quality and craftsmanship. So you're not getting the best construction worker, you're not getting the best carpenter, you're not getting the best kitchen cabinet maker in these properties anymore. You're getting someone who it can turn a profit for the developer. So you're not getting top quality items. And I see this every day. When I go through a new construction home, I'm looking at the details. I'm going, really? They chinched out here? Really? They cut corners there? Really? And you see it more and more. Where 10 years ago, homes were a lot better built than they are today. I'm not saying these issues were never around before, but they seem to be worse since the pandemic. Another issue with new construction homes is the uncertainty and all the delays. This is everybody's biggest fear when buying a new home. There's always going to be issues with delays, especially here in the GTA because of the weather, labor shortages, strikes, supply chain issues. But the problem with these delays is not only is it affecting someone's quality of life, it's also affecting life in general. You're in limbo. If you have a house to sell, then when do you sell your house? If you're renting a place and you've given your 60-day notice, how is that being affected? And let's talk about the bigger issue. It will affect your financing. Let's say you purchase a house that's going to be ready in a year and a half. Interest rates might be low right now, but a year and a half later, they might be very expensive. So when you're getting a mortgage, you want to lock in on your interest rates. But if it's a year and a half from now, it's impossible to do that. So you are susceptible to the market changes as opposed to purchasing a resale home and you know what your interest rate is and you know what your interest rate is today. Let's talk about depreciation and resale value of new construction homes. Just like a new car, sometimes when you purchase a new construction home, but over the long term, it does gain value, especially if you're buying the first phase. Now, if the market is saturated with new construction homes, it will come down in value. Let's fast forward 3 to 5 years. You have to sell your house. You might want to upgrade, you might want to downsize. Doesn't matter what the reason is. You have to sell your house. If there's a 4th and 5th phase and they're still selling homes exactly like yours, and if those prices haven't increased, then you're typically going to lose money on your property. Now, if the 4th and 5th development phase has increased in value, you're going to make a little bit of money. But also, 4 or 5 years, there's a whole bunch of other people reselling their homes. Guess what? You're only going to get market value for those homes, regardless of how many upgrades you put into that house, regardless of the lot premiums. You're always going to get what the other homes in that community will go for. And if the market is shifted, like it recently has, where you bought the house for $1.2 million, and there's other people on the market that had to sell for much lower pricing, guess what? You're at the mercy of that pricing. You're at the mercy of the market. And let alone if the builder is trying to get rid of inventory. So now they're actually selling houses for less expensive than when you purchased. That's a huge issue. Which home do you think the buyer is going to purchase? The brand new home or your resale home? If you're buying new construction, plan on being in that home for at least 5 to 10 years. And I understand life happens and sometimes you just got to move on. But be aware, this potentially could be a problem. And unlike a resale home, because you bought this house at a more expensive price point, chances are it doesn't appreciate as much as a resale home does. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts and if you have any comments. Have you had any situations? Again, I know I'm going to get flagged for this video, but I make these videos in order to educate. They're not definitely, they are just education in hopes that you make great real estate decisions. And you know that there's certain homes you should never consider buying. And if you don't, check out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.